y'all, this is getting bad. The Iron Dome defense system has failed, and this is Israel. They're being attacked by like every single angle there is. Hezbollah, Iran, even the Houthis are sending missiles at them right now. I was pretty sure their Iron Dome was not going to be able to compete with everything that was coming. All of Israel is red right now. All of it. And it's just getting started. Waves are still being sent as we speak. Not just Jordan, but now Egypt has closed its airspace. And guess whose planes are flying in right now to assist and aid and help Israel? Britain, of course. It would be, right? A NATO ally, of course. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get, because there is so much headed their way that this is nothing yet. And so far, 40 Israelis have passed away due to the conflict, which just started. This is insane. The Israeli people were acting fine until they found out that the Iron Dome was not going to protect them from everything that was coming their way. This was at the very beginning when the Iron Dome was still trying to keep up with all the stuff. Now Iran said, if Israel does not retaliate, it'll be over. Well, guess what? The Israeli leaders got together right after that happened and already said they'd be doing a swift retaliatory...
Shalom, Yashar Allah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to Yehovah Latakiam out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Hey, this is the Watchman Hour. Hey, man, making sure you're on your watch because a lot is going on. You know, this lesson is just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of kind of what everybody already knows. But, you know, through the scriptures, this is something that is escalating. We don't know if this, we'll see how far these other countries are going to take it. We're going to stand by, you know, because as much as everybody and all of us would like to get excited about everything that's going on, we still have to, you know, remember that the scriptures and prophecy has an order, you know, because World War III is not going to go full-fledged until, you know, the Charagma comes first. So you have to understand that even though this is escalating and this is getting out of hand, it is part of prophecy that these nations are finally standing up. And this is a very big deal, don't get me wrong, but we have to understand that people are saying, oh, it started World War III, this and that. You know, we'll see what it escalates to, because this happened, you know, a couple years ago, but America is weaker. But again, we're standing by. But the point being is, don't get too excited. But even though that, Lord willing, this does escalate, this does bring more nations. Don't get me wrong, this is something that we want to happen. But, you know, this is something that is going to show whose side you're really on. Because with everything that's going on in the GAZA, you know, now Russia is saying that they are going to back Iran too. You know, so if this pulls in, you know, Iran and Russia, it's already U.S. and Israel. You know, so this is something that, you know, the least of the flock is doing to drag them out. You know, and as you can see that missile barrage, there was around 300 missiles. I think there was some statistic like 50 cruise missiles, 130 drones, and like 170 missiles or something like that was shot over. You know, and the Iron Dome was in it. And able to take care of all of them, you know, so a lot of them did make impacts. Like you said, close to 40 Israelis, you know, had so-called passed away, you know. But this is going into these articles before I get into the scriptures that I have prepared. But this is just in 4 hours ago. This is from today. G7 leaders condemn Iran's attack in the strongest terms, declare they stand ready to take further measures if attacks continue. You know, so this is just something that, you know, we'll see, Lord willing, that they wait for another nightfall operation, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, Lord willing, it does escalate. That's something what we want. And this is something that is going to push prophecy, you know, exactly how the scriptures say. And the apostles at Great Millstone have said it first. You know, who has been saying this is going to be happening, you know, since the beginning of their ministry. The elders and apostles at Great Millstone have always taught the brothers the right way and how to break down, you know, these things that are going on in the world while everybody else is just going crazy and getting stressed out and not knowing what to do. You know, all the people in the world are seeing this. Douche. You know, douche. Again. So these people are losing it.
صبرت انا والله صبرت. المطار طاح المطار. وي.
So you have to understand that this is something that is, Yapa to see in the scriptures that I have prepared, because this is all the players getting in place for the final Third World War. If this is the final straw that breaks the camel's back and, finally drags all these nations into major conflicts, we'll see. Lord willing, it does. This is Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows being the nuclear missiles. Gather the shields. The Lord Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. The Medes being, the modern day Russians. In this case, being the closest nation to them in this time of the biblical sense. The Medes being the closest nation to where the Russians are. And also, more importantly, because they fit the prophecy. For his device is against Babylon. That device, again, ultimately being those nuclear or hypersonic missiles. To destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh. The vengeance of his temple. And who is his temple? His people. Zion is his monument. And the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem HaKadosh, dwelleth in us. That's where his spirit is. He said, I temple built not with man's hands. Is where the spirit dwells. Roughly paraphrasing of the Lord. And that's us. This is bodies. Verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Because this is talking about ancient Babylon. But as well, this is what is going to be happening again in the future. Because Babylon is still there. To this day. But the future Babylon is prophesied that no man is going to be able to live or dwell there after the Lord is done with it. After the Lord's judgment. And the ambushes, because America thinks they're big and bad, but they're not ready for how many enemies they're going to be having on every side. It's not like it was in World War II with kinetic, simple warfare where you had planes and tanks and artillery, and you didn't have too long of a range missiles. You had to go fly planes way over across the country and drop the bombs directly on their heads if you wanted long distance strikes. So this is something that doesn't need to be done. Everything can be done over computer. A 19-year-old recruit playing on a video games console, but he's flying a Predator drone in Afghanistan, blowing people up. That's the type of warfare that it is today. So those devices and that setting up that standard, that's the type of war it's going to be. Verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, being these different military bases and embassies that Babylon has its tentacles in all these countries, per se. All their bases, their different points of operations that they set up throughout the world, their embassies. All that. But also upon many waters, because look at America, geographically. They have the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Gulf of Mexico touching them. That's 3 of the 4 sides of Babylon that's it's touching, But mainly the many waters is being around the world, not just those three oceans. Again, abundant in treasures. This is that golden cup. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness, the measure of their, the wickedness that has ascended up into the heavens. It reached the heavens, it's so high, stacked so high. So that's why the Lord's got to take it out. Verse 14, the Lord Yahweh of hosts hath sworn by himself. That's the I swear on me. There's no other higher swear or oath that can be taken other than the Lord Yahweh taking it on his own name that he's going to do something. That's crazy. That's a guarantee. That's the most biggest guarantee you can get that something's going to happen. Saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. That's that war cry. That's those sleeper soldiers. That's those UN troops. That's those FEMA camps. That's those militia groups. That's those rebels. That's those Mad Max people. Man, everything's gonna be straight chaos. So many boots on the ground that are ready for war, that are, because they're all lifting up a shout. You know, that shout's that war cry. You know, so that's the type of energy that's coming. You know, this is not gonna get any better. You know, Lord willing, you know, it escalates to that third woe, because this could escalate to where the point where it changes the supply chain, because it's so crazy that the supply chain and the economics of the world get messed up, you know, so then it leads to an economic collapse because of everybody's fighting, you know, and then it causes them to say, okay, well, let's squash all this beef, and no one's eating in any of our countries. Let's give them the charagma. Now we got them where we want them. Okay, here's a charagma. Okay, everything's cooling down now. Everyone's peace. Boom, you know, chaos comes. The Lord. But hey, man, you know, there's so many different ways that this place is going to receive judgment. There's no way that it's going to come from even just one thing that you can explain, because everything's going to be going wrong. Like they say, Murphy's Law, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Hey, that's how the last days are going to be playing out for the unbelievers. But understanding that this is just something that is just another step towards prophecy. And Lord willing, we're out of here soon. And Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying to the elect. And before I end this lesson, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to your hopeful elect Akim that are out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Wa, the Akwath, that are listening in silence, and the speckled bird Israelites, you know, that are believing of the gospel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. To you, Shalom.